Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Malhama and the Mahdi. In this episode, let's discuss the Imam Mahdi as the healed healer. So in another episode, I was discussing the dark night of the soul and how this relates to the Imam Mahdi. I would say that to understand the Imam Mahdi and anything dealing with eschatology within Hadith, it's very beneficial to study it from the perspective of comparative religions. And to look at other academic disciplines and their toolkits and how that can help us to sift and sort data, to collect data in a comparative manner, and to sort it to see so that we can better see the patterns and see the relevance. And sometimes it shines a new light on materials that we've been looking at the wrong way, perhaps, or in a way that is not leading us to the deepest transformative insight. So inshallah, we shall begin to see some healthy ways of studying these materials that will assist us as an ummah and prepare us, because we need to prepare as rapidly as possible, and we need to come into spiritual maturity individually and collectively. So what do I mean by the healed healer? I have been arguing in my videos for some time that right now we need to shift to a healing paradigm. The word heal in English is related to wholeness. So to heal is to become whole, to come out of a toxic state, out of a broken state into a pure and upright state. And the healed healer, this is a conceptualization that you will see within psychology, within comparative religion, within anthropology, where people have to go through, where people who have various sicknesses, sometimes mental illnesses, depressions, going through a dark night of the soul, sometimes with a physical disability. They have to go through a spiritual journey and be transformed. And during this transformative process, they are brought into new insights and a maturation where they are healed, they are made whole, and when they re-enter the community, they have an obligation now to share their insight and to share their healing ability. So sometimes the person who is sick and broken comes back whole and complete, and now has insight into the healing process and knows how to guide their community. This is found within shamanic communities. This is found within Buddhist communities. This is found all around the world, the concept of the healed healer. So if you have knowledge of this personally or academically and you want to share something in the comments that would be of benefit, please do. Feel free to. So I would argue that the Imam Mahdi, the dark night of the soul conceptualization, helps us to see him as a healed healer. I have other reasons for believing that he's a healed healer, a whole maker. I know a lot of people, they're focused on him as a warrior who brings justice. We'll also be dealing with this, but I would argue that if you are in a state of brokenness and toxicity, and you are in a state of imbalance, it is quite literally impossible for you to be just. If you do not see reality as it actually is, then you are misperceiving reality. If you're misperceiving reality, you are not properly discerning reality as it is. Therefore, you're necessarily going to prejudge based on incomplete data, and you're going to misjudge based on incomplete data and wrong methodologies. So, the healed healer is somebody who comes out of brokenness, out of toxicity, out of impurity, comes out of sin, out of wrong directionality in life. Their life is misorientated. So they now come into, through a holistic Toba and Tazkiyah process and through a spiritual journey, they are made upright and purified. And then once the human path, the way it works is once you come into insight and you're transformed, you have a moral and ethical responsibility to be of benefit to others. This is not the path of selfishness. Selfishness is always a satanic behavior and approach and worldview. So we have to, right now we see so much brokenness in the world, so much toxicity, so many problems. How are we going to see justice in the world? Do you imagine that the Imam Mahdi is going to go out with a sword or with a gun and just be, dealing with people like taking it, like, how is he going to see things correctly? A genuine caliph of the earth is required to see things accurately because he's part of the prophetic path. The Imam Mahdi is in the lineage that includes Suleiman, alayhi salam. He is in the lineage of Luqman, alayhi salam. Luqman the wise. He is in the spiritual descent line of Dawood, of King David, of all of the prophets. He is the inheritor of the prophets. His path is the prophetic path. And of course, he is the grandson of our Nabi, peace be upon him. So, discerning wisely is absolutely necessary, and compassionately and mercifully. Justice always requires mercy and compassion, kindness, love, forgiveness, the ability to see things accurately. So I will discuss in another video after this the medical framework, a diagnostic framework that I believe that he will need to work within. Before I discuss that, along the lines of his spiritual lineage and genetic lineage, his descent lines, it is very important to consider that Isa alayhi salam, one of his names, his titles, is the Great Physician, a title that he shares with the Buddha Gautama. Both of them are called the Great Physician. We know that in the prophetic tradition, healing is very, very important, which includes physical healing, cleansing, detoxing, nutrification, strengthening. And so this includes many great healers. Ilyas and his disciples, alayhum salam. It would include Isa alayhi salam. It would include Muhammad ibn Abdullah, peace be upon him. So the great physicians, he's part of this lineage. So he too must be a healer. And so to be a healer, he must have gone through his purification process, his spiritual and physical detoxification process, which all of us need to go through now. And I will discuss this and argue this more strongly in the near future, inshallah. But just consider these things, that if you want to join the Imam Mahdi, it's very important for you to go through a holistic Tawbah process and a holistic tazkiyah process, purifying every aspect of your life, including your body and your bodily systems, including your blood, including your perception of reality. You need to get all the obscurations, all the obstacles out of the way and get as clear as possible right now. You need to see things clearly. We all need to be healed and made whole and made upright. So do not just depend on the Imam Mahdi. Join him in this endeavor. If you want to be his companion, become his companion right now. Because I would guarantee you, if he is alive right now and he is in this time period, then he's going through this process as we speak. Matter of fact, we're even dealing with how can I put it? We're dealing with a serious crisis that has medical connections and illness connections. So we have to be able to discern what's the fake version of illness and the real version of illness. What is the actual medical and healing crisis? What's the healing crisis that we're facing? What's the real virus in our society? We need to be able to assess this accurately. So does he. So do you. So I want us to be thinking about this very carefully. So may we all take this healing process very seriously. May we all go through the holistic Tawbah and Tazkiyah process, be purified, come out of a broken, impure state into a pure, whole, upright state, rectified and made ready. And may we be just to our bodies, just to our minds, just to our relationships, just to one another. Till next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.